What's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how I made the Skyrim mountains inside World Machine. Right now I'm working on a Skyrim-inspired game. I want to build a game that captures the same gameplay, fighting mechanics, magic, and especially the sense of wonder and exploration. I think one of the main things that created the sense of wonder in Skyrim more than anything else were its large, snow-covered mountains. They make the player wonder what else could be out there and make the world feel massive and explorable. To make mountains that inspire the same feeling, I fired up World Machine. After analyzing Skyrim's mountains, I came up with 5 traits that make Skyrim mountains feel like Skyrim. The first trait is roughness. If you look at a screenshot from the game, you can see that Skyrim mountains are very rough, jagged and not smooth. Recreating this in World Machine is easy. I started with an advanced Perlin, which is basically just a noise from which World Machine generates terrain. If you play around with the features a bit, you end up with something like this. This only looks very much like Skyrim, but these aren't true mountains yet. There are no peaks, no valleys, it's just noise, which leads us to the next trait. If you look at the 3D map of Skyrim, you quickly see that each peak ends with a point. Each mountain has this triangle-like shape that starts wide and becomes sharper at the top. Even the throat of the world has this feature. Real-life mountains don't look quite like this, but we can easily recreate this in World Machine. I started by using the Shapes tool and made these pointy shapes. Basically this is the base outline for my map, where I want mountains to be and where I want valleys to be. I even made a small throat of the world. Then we just have to combine these pointy shapes with the rough, jagged map from before. And we end up with something looking like this. This already has a strong Skyrim vibe, but we are not finished yet. I adjusted the middle to bring out the valley more, and I combined everything with itself to make the mountains less thin and more full. Finally, I finished it up with erosion and a snow filter to make the mesh look more realistic and less like 3D. The end result looks like this, and that's our finished Skyrim mesh, but the hardest part still awaits, making the texture. Right now we could just put a basic World Machine texture on it and it would already look pretty good. This is something that comes with World Machine by default, not something that I created. But this default texture looks more like Somerset rather than Skyrim. The colors are off. If you ever played Skyrim, you immediately notice that orange-beige tone that appears everywhere. So we need to recreate this orange-beige tone for the valleys and the flat areas. To do this, I started with another noise and colored it this orange-beige color. Then I used the slope selector to target all the flat, non-steep parts and combine them with the map. The end result looks something like this, and it immediately feels more like Skyrim. But the rocks still don't look right. They're too white, too clean. This could work for a fantasy map of Somerset or some kind of elven country, but for Skyrim, the rocks are a warmer, grayer tone with a rougher texture. To make this, I used the same noise, but this time colored it grey. Then I added both a height map and a flow map. The height map darkens higher areas, while the flow map darkens areas where water would flow, giving them a more bluish tone. When added to the texture, this makes everything look cool and more realistic. I then applied this texture with another slope selector to cover all the steep, rocky parts. And it came out like this. Now it really captures the Skyrim vibe. But we're not finished yet. The most important Skyrim feature is still missing. Skyrim wouldn't be Skyrim without its cold, snowy landscapes. Making snow on World Machine is actually pretty simple. I started with a white color, then applied it only to flat, non-steep areas above a certain height. Snow isn't everywhere, it's mostly at higher elevations only. In World Machine, you can handle this with a height selector. Here I selected everything above 900 meters, so only areas above that become snowy. I also reused the slope selector from earlier, so that the snow only covers the flat areas, not cliffs. Then I used that as a mask and applied the white color where the mask was. The end result looks like this, and we now have realistic snow for our Skyrim map. From World Machine, I exported a bitmap, a low poly 3D mesh, and a normal map for Unity. I imported the map into Unity and created the texture from the exported file. The result looks like this. Keep in mind, this isn't finished yet, and it's still a bit rough. I also added some clouds and a lake at the bottom, both made with a simple noise texture exported from World Machine. What do you guys think? Does this look like Skyrim and evoke the same sense of wonder? Let me know in the comments, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with my game as I continue trying to recreate Skyrim.